folk of Alexander, and some of Hercules, of Hector and Lysander, and such great names as these. But of all...
Hello and welcome to today's Battletech review. Today we are going to be looking at the Galahad, which is a mech you might not have seen a whole lot in this particular configuration, or even the previous one, but you will have seen if you've ever fought the clans at any length ever since they came around. We will talk about that more later. The Galahad is a Star League era mech, but we're not going to go over the whole Star League and the old details this time around. We are going to limit ourselves to talking about the mech and its origins, basically. Before we talk about the Galahad, well, we'll have to talk about the Rifleman. The Rifleman is that one thing that everybody's seen in the inner sphere, well, as long as you're a fighting man. Of course, if you're a civilian, you might have actually seen them walk around different spaceports and even airports as your standard mobile air defense platform. It's that one thing that people keep saying that is really, really good until the shooting actually starts and you see the Rifleman just fall because it's under-armored, it's under-synced, and it just isn't mobile enough. Yes, it's good against airplanes. Yes, it does have a very nice amount of long-range firepower, which can save it from some catastrophes. But it's not a very good mech, at least not in my opinion, and through my experiences. Less well known, however, is the fact that the Rifleman didn't start as the Rifleman we know and love nowadays. It really started with the 1N and 2N series, which were actually 50 tons medium mechs, and they were the standard Rifleman and the standard for anti-air defense for most of the Star League era. It still had that great anti-air computer that the modern Riflemans have, and it suffered for pretty much the exact same issues the modern ones have, except that they were 10 ton lighter, probably a little bit cheaper. I've never really seen a 1N or a 2N. Those have mostly been destroyed over the years. The modern Rifleman, 60 ton anti-air platform, is the one you will generally see. What happened at that point was that the Terran Hegemony, the home of the Star League, wanted another direct fire support mech for themselves, and a thing that was a little bit fancier than those Riflemen that were now being sold all around the place. So Mitchell Vehicle, both on Terra and their home on Graham 4, got the contract to produce the GLH-1D Galahad in 2570. At 50 ton, it was meant to be a replacement for the Rifleman, at least their early one. It was slower with a GM150 engine, so it could go about 55 kilometers per hour, which is okay if you're just using it as an anti-air platform. Its skeleton was made of endo steel, which was covered with 10 tons of standard armor. To keep it cool, you had 13 double heat sinks, which is really good on a mech trying to replace the Rifleman because it might actually try to keep it cool. Of course, the fact that it had 2 Magna L-Star PPCs and 2 Nova large lasers in those arm gun pods there meant it was going to run hot anyways. But with 13 double heat sinks, if you're smart about it, you're probably going to be able to do volley fire and take out those aerospace fighters trying to hurt your friends in a decent way. You're not going to run too hot if you just shoot the large lasers. If you shoot the PPCs in alternating order, things like that, you're going to be good. And you don't have any ammo that can actually blow up because you overeat. So it's not a bad trade-off here. In my opinion, it was far more competent than those 1N and 2N Riflemen, and I would take those ahead even the more modern 3N Riflemen. Of course, they have more advanced technologies in them, so that kind of explains why I would take them in the end. What really changed the game for the Galahad was actually the introduction of the Gauss Rifle in 2590. The Gauss Rifle is really a massive advance in ballistic technology, and it's a thing that we keep iterating on, both as the clan and the inner sphere powers try different things with the weapon. The original Gauss Rifle, the one that you still see a lot of people use, honestly, is a 15-ton behemoth with the ability to shoot about a 30-centimeter slug of raw iron at a speed close to 10 times the speed of sound. At that kind of speed, when you get hit by that slug, it basically shears off an entire ton of armor off a mech. It is rather powerful. It has a very, very good range, and it is extensively accurate since it goes that quickly. Nowadays, we've got things like light Gauss rifles, we've got anti-personnel Gauss rifles, we've got mag shots, we've got hyper-assault Gauss, we even have spaceship-size Gauss rifles. I've never seen one of those, but I know they exist. But originally, all we really had was that particular Gauss rifle. And so the Star League wanted something to put those Gauss rifles on. In 2594, that's when the Galahad GLH-2D came out at 60 tons. This is the one that was actually more common for the duration of the Star League era, while the previous one was rather limited in its production. It goes the same speed with a GM180 rather than the 150 we had before, and it's protected by 11 ton of the good ferrofibrous alloy. Well, the okay ferrofibrous alloy. The heat sinks are actually downgraded to 10 standard heat sinks because the only weapons you have on there is a pair of Gauss rifle fed by 4 tons of ammo, and Gauss rifles just don't generate heat. Yeah, the arm assemblies were the original arm assemblies more or less, so they were not meant to resist the shock of shooting those repeatedly, and you had to repair the shoulder assembly and even the entire assembly all the time, but it was worth it. You could basically take out an aerospace fighter in a single shot and take out those VTOLs almost instantly. Unfortunately, however, well, this is one of those cases where all the technology that's on that 2D Galahad was basically lost during the Succession War, and the factory actually building it was nuked from orbit, like so many others. While production of the 2D Galahad restarted somewhat, the people who put the most Galahads back into the environment were actually the word of Blake with the GLH-3D, which came out in the Jihad era. It was faster, using a 240 light fusion engine and a small cockpit because the pilot doesn't need to be comfortable, but it was linked to an improved C3 computer so it could get the telemetry from the other mechs around to give it a better accuracy, and it had a Guardian ECM in case something wrong happened. Sadly, the one problem I have with it is that it replaces the guns with a pair of light Gauss rifle with 4 tons of ammo. It just doesn't have the punch of those regular Gauss rifles. You can't take out another mech in a single shot with a light Gauss rifle. You need that extra punch from the regular Gauss rifle to make it really a threat. The model is still in production by Defiance and for export and for use by the Lyran Alliance. I'm pretty sure those C3Is are being replaced with a pair of medium lasers and a little bit more armor nowadays, but it's at the user's discretion. And now the usual, but what about the clans? Well, the clans had a lot of Galahads. Well, because the Star League had a lot of Galahads. So what did they do with them? Well, stay tuned. We actually have a full presentation on the Glass Spider that is coming soon. Yeah, I'm spreading myself a little bit thin with those presentations here. I'm putting out a bit too many at the same time, so I'm trying to slow down just a little bit. The longer ones are fun to do, but you guys need to learn patience as well, I guess. We will be talking about Clan Snow Raven's Glass Spider as the mechs come into the factory next week, as we get a whole shipment of them from the Snow Ravens. I do like both the standard models from the Inner Sphere, the 1D and the 2D, and I do think that replacing those O-rings and adapters on those shoulder mounts every other week is pretty awful, but if you just change the arm assembly a little bit, you'll probably be fine. If you played around with that 1D model a little bit and tried to modernize it a little bit, I'm pretty sure you would be getting quite a few buyers as well, especially if you manage to get that Rifleman targeting array on. I'm not sure. It's not a game I'm going to get in anyways. So I hope you guys have a very nice rest of your day. I thank you for listening to me for so long, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.